Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Slamhub Wrestling. Myself, Suprit, and this is your NXT review for June 1st, 2021. Joined by Spandan here. What's up, Spandan?
All fine, Suprit. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. What do you think about NXT this week?
Disappointed, I would say, because all these weeks that I've done the review with you, it's been all positive and all stuff. But now it's the first review where I have negatives to speak about. So I was a tad bit disappointed with today's episode, and we'll talk about it now.
Seems like this is going to be a fun review this week.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so we had two matches advertised, the big matches you could say. So we had, a triple threat match. So we had number one contender implications for the NXT title. So we had Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne, and Johnny Gargano. And we also had a NXT tag team title match, Legado del Fantasma facing MSK. So they also had Kushida, he had an open challenge this week for the Cruiserweight Championship and so much more. But before that, if you are new to this channel, then make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Check out our other content like the AW Dynamite review, the main roster talk, and we also did Double or Nothing review with Abhishek Aneza. So check that out. So let's start from the top, man. So they kicked off NXT with the triple threat match. Like I said, we had Kyle O'Reilly facing Pete Dunne and Johnny Gargano. So the winner of this match will be going for NXT Takeover in your house facing Karrion Kross. So match was going really well. Everything was fine, and then we get to the finish. You could say with Adam Cole, attacking all three members. Everything was fine until we come from commercial break and the match is over. Like, how do you have a no DQ or a false finish in a triple threat match?
So for the past few weeks, you've been talking about the return of Adam Cole, and there he is. So we had questions on what he's going to do when he comes to NXT. So I had said that he's not going after Kyle O'Reilly again. He wants a title now, which we got the answer is right, that he wants the NXT Championship. So talking about the match itself, it was extremely good. It was high paced, it was fast, and it was well done. And in the match, Pete Dunne dominated most of the match. So I was picking Kyle O'Reilly as the favorite, but Pete Dunne was looking like he was going to win. And the match was going well, but when we return, it's Adam Cole who's back. He attacks all three men. He wants the NXT Championship, so he's done all of that. And it ends in a weird way, but no disqualification matches can end like that. We got the example 2 years back at Hell in a Cell. A Hell in a Cell match can end, in disqualification. It's weird. So WWE can do that. So the match ends, and then we know what is coming at NXT Takeover in your house. But speaking about the situation, it was weird seeing the match end, but happy that Adam Cole is back, and the match was decent.
Yeah, we were all mad, with this finish that NXT gave us. But I think they gave us somewhat of an explanation and some good stuff, when we had Adam Cole, later on the night he would come to the ring, have he cut a small promo, then he was confronted by Karrion Kross. So both men had a great verbal, promo battle, you could say. Adam Cole, just parried Karrion Kross on the mic, saying that you, Karrion Kross, you have a great entrance. You got the girl, you got everything. But what makes Adam Cole special is, talking. He was just basically talking about how good he's in the ring. So great stuff, man. Great stuff. And then we had William Regal coming out. So everything led to Karrion Kross say that he wants to face everyone, including the guys that were in the triple threat. So we get a fatal five-way match now for the NXT Championship at Takeover. So there you go, man.
You mean it's incredible, right? You have the five top stars of NXT, and I do not see this match sucking in any way. I can maybe even bet that it's going to be a match of the year contender because of the five superstars that are in it. And Adam Cole and Karrion Kross, that verbal confrontation was too good. That was intense. And the promos that both men cut were really, really good. And now, Adam Cole being a face, being a heel, I don't know if you noticed, but listening to his promo, I kind of felt like he's a face. I liked that guy for some time. So now moving into Takeover in Your House, it's going to be a good scenario. And we talked about Karrion Kross not losing the championship. So it could happen. Now that he definitely doesn't need to have the pinfall, there are three other guys who can take pinfalls from the fifth guy. So there is a situation.
Speaking about Adam Cole, come on, is Adam Cole. For years, it doesn't matter if he's a heel, if it's a babyface, it's Adam Cole. We're gonna love him at the end of the day. And back to your point, about this fatal five-way match. At this point, I wouldn't mind Karrion Kross dropping the title.
Yeah, in this scenario, you can accept him losing the title because these weeks I've even commented on a lot of posts and all of that that I don't see these small guys beating Kross, and I've got hate for it as well, but it's okay. So now that Bronson Reed is not any close to Karrion Kross, no scenario at all. So I can happily accept someone winning the NXT championship by pinning someone else and not Karrion Kross. That is why maybe it is a fatal five-way match because now looking at the four superstars that are in it, if Kross retains, and I don't think we are getting a Balor Kross again. So if Kross retains, who is the next challenger? Is it a repeat of any of these four challengers? You want fresh matches. So I don't know, but I think there is going to be a title change at Takeover in Your House, and we are going to crown a new NXT champion.
You are now you're figuring out who could be the next challenger. So if he beats these five guys, then you have to come up with someone fresh. So rather than doing that, let's get off the title of Kross. So we can easily send this guy to the main roster. So and meanwhile, you could have this. Meanwhile, you could have someone else as a new champion. You could get some fresh matchups.
Yeah, absolutely. Karrion Kross, since his arrival on NXT, he's been a big name, and you see all these, rumors, news, people speaking about Karrion Kross. They see a big star in him, and going to the main roster, I think it's really difficult to mess up someone like a Karrion Kross because he's too good to be messed up. And Karrion Kross, being the body that he has, and with a manager, his wife Scarlett Bordeaux, and all of that stuff, so I don't see him being messed up on the main roster, and I would love to see him there. So you could, take the NXT Title Championship off him, but I think it's too early. He's not been there for a long time. He is going to stay. So this is a good scenario that NXT has created, putting some intrigue into our minds that who is going to win. And I think it's going to be a good scenario watching that match, but I think NXT is going to crown a new champion.
And when Adam Cole cut that promo, and he's got some hype now. He's made a lot of buzz with this promo. I would say I wouldn't mind if they put the title back on him.
Yeah, because now with Finn Balor losing the championship, who's the marquee name on NXT? Marquee, I mean, who's the NXT original? Who is the superstar we think of when we say NXT? It's Adam Cole now. So Adam Cole has to, make some in-ring work after his fiery promo today. If he's just talked this much and does nothing at TakeOver, then it doesn't mean anything. Kyle O'Reilly has been built as a single star. Pete Dunne, I think, is a sleeper pick. I don't think he's going to win. You can pick him, but there's less chances. Johnny Gargano, I don't think he's winning. He's just lost the North American Championship. So Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole are the two picks if you want to crown a new champion. And do you want Kyle O'Reilly to get the NXT Championship so early in his singles career? Do you want Adam Cole to be a repeat champion? Do you want Kross to retain the championship? So these three are the names I see walking out as NXT champion. The other two are there to take the pin. Most likely Peter.
But once again, let's talk about that promo, man. That the reason that promo came out so good is because Adam Cole was spitting facts. Like he technically said that Karrion Kross is not made for NXT. He's just, your quote unquote superstar that should belong on the main roster. While he's one of the guys that, is also he's the if you want to see, then Adam Cole is also a, a total package in the mic, in the ring, everything.
Absolutely. And Adam Cole spitting all those facts, he basically called Karrion Kross a big muscle head and overrated. You don't see these words being thrown around, overrated and underrated. Only the commentators use it when they're looking at a Sheamus match. They call Sheamus underrated a lot of times in his matches. But talking about, Adam Cole's promo, it was really good. He was speaking facts. It was coming honestly. And, even last week I told you about this, the Pete Dunne interview 2 weeks back. The Pete Dunne interview, I felt it was honest and truthful, and I felt the same way in this promo too. So these kind of promos, these kind of segments are likable, and Adam Cole is just Adam Cole. He's probably the best on NXT right now. You can argue with that, but he is. So Adam Cole, do I see him as the next NXT champion? I do for sure. Do I think he's capable of beating Karrion Kross in a singles match? I don't, which is why perhaps the fatal five-way scenario has been built for Adam Cole to leave as champion. So Karrion Kross, does he belong on the main roster? Absolutely. Let him go to the main roster. Let him feud with the big guys, with the Lashleys and Roman Reigns and all of those people. For now, let's see what happens. But Adam Cole is a big, big favorite to win the championship after that promo.
Let's see, man. Let's see. I think, Triple H has yet another excuse to keep Adam Cole on in NXT.
Absolutely. Triple H, I speak about all these people and say Triple H has his kids in wrestling. He has Adam Cole, Balor, Owens, Rollins, all these people. So he does want to keep Adam Cole on NXT because maybe he has that attachment, maybe he has that slight feeling that if he goes to the main roster, he's going to get spoiled. Because he has seen all these NXT superstars. He has seen his father-in-law Vince take all these superstars from NXT and spoil them. He doesn't want that to happen to Adam Cole. So maybe he wants to keep Adam Cole there, and it's simple. Give him the world championship of a brand. He'll stay happy.
So when the triple threat initially happened early on, so we quickly, when this false finish happened, very chaotic, you could say, they quickly have Ember Moon walking out to the ring, and she called out Raquel Gonzalez. So I think it was last week, right, or the week before, where Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, they actually attacked Ember's partner, Shotzi Blackguard, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so Ember was ready to call out Raquel. So here comes Raquel. William Regal is having a very busy night. First off, he had to take care of Adam Cole. Now he has to take care of these two ladies. So we got a brawl here. So we had officials separating the two ladies, and as a result of all this, we are now getting Ember Moon versus Raquel Gonzalez for the NXT Championship at Takeover in Your House. So yeah.
So this was one of the reasons I didn't like NXT this week. It was extremely frantic, very, fast paced. You can't have an entire show like this. You have the triple threat, which was so chaotic. It ended like that. You cancelled a match, which is no disqualification, basically, a triple threat match. And then you have Ember Moon. We have just come back from the commercial. We are ready to be calmed down because something frantic has just happened. Back to Ember Moon in the ring. She's shouting as she's calling out Raquel Gonzalez. This is bad. You have to wait. Maybe even just a simple Ember Moon entrance before that would have calmed us down. Ember Moon with an entrance comes to the ring, then starts speaking. And it was so badly booked, and on the camera because Ember Moon was calling out the promo, and these people had not even left. Adam Cole and William Regal and the officials were still on the ramp. They were also visible. Ember was also visible. They are going. Raquel is coming out. It was a very bad scenario, but Ember Moon back in the NXT Women's Championship picture. Good to see because she is a former NXT Women's Champion, and the way she was booked into the match is not to my liking. You attack her partner, and now she wants your title. That doesn't make sense to me. So she's getting that match. It's going to be a good match, obviously. Raquel and Ember Moon, their chemistry will work, I guess. But for the match that's next week, Dakota Kai and Ember Moon, that's going to be a good match as well. And where are the hints of Dakota and Raquel breaking up? Because I don't see it anywhere. Raquel is being taken out by the officials, and Dakota is helping Raquel by taking out Ember from the back. So these two matches are going to be good. Ember Moon is going to control the story from her side alone. She doesn't have a Shotzi Blackheart to help her here. But it's going to be a good match at TakeOver and next week. Story wise, it was a bit stupid if you ask me, and I didn't like it because it was too fast paced, very badly shown on camera.
The only positive I could say about this match being announced is if they are planning to have Raquel a long title reign, and if they so by giving Ember Moon an opponent like Ember Moon, she could have a good match, and that could be a good start for her title reign too.
Absolutely, just to elevate her, because if you see the way they are booking now, if you speak about Ember Moon, I think NXT is booking Raquel Gonzalez's reign in a way that she's beating NXT veterans. First, her first title defense was Mercedes Martinez. Now she's going to face Ember Moon. Ember Moon is an NXT original. So it's a good way they're booking Raquel's title reign, and it's going to be a really good match. But I don't see her dropping the title. We were talking about who's going to hold the title for how long, the three champions of NXT. So we were talking about, Karrion Kross holding it for a long time. Now our opinions have changed after today. So maybe Raquel is the one holding the title for a longer reign and Kross loses it early. So Raquel, if she's having a long reign, she needs more challengers. Where are the challengers? You have Frankie Monet, you have, Zaya Lee maybe, and all of those superstars. You can have them come for the title. But for now, it's going to be a good match.
And you mentioned, are they even breaking up Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez? I think they are holding it off. That could explain, why Raquel could potentially be holding this title for a long time.
Soon the crowds are returning as well. We've not got news on if they're returning to NXT. Are they returning to NXT?
By July, we could expect. So WWE is opening up, bringing crowds back in July. So I could expect NXT doing the same. Like, why are you holding off on NXT? Like every promotion is bringing back fans. So why not NXT? NXT is the one desperately that needs audience now.
The one desperately that needs an audience is Raw. But yeah, NXT does need a crowd right now. So I haven't seen rumors of NXT having crowds. It might be because WWE treats NXT like a completely different brand and company in itself. NXT is different. You don't have a Instagram page for SmackDown and Raw. You do have one for NXT. They're completely separate entity. So NXT having crowds, I haven't heard of them, but I think they're going for Raquel and Frankie Monet after Ember Moon. And because right now I don't see any hints of Dakota and Raquel Gonzalez breaking up, but obviously it will happen. No tag team stands forever. So it will happen. When, we don't know, but let's see what the future holds.
Now that you mentioned it, I could see Frankie Monet being the one that takes the title of Raquel Gonzalez.
The reason I asked you about the crowds is the same, because I think WWE wants Frankie Monet's big wins to happen in front of a crowd, because all of that hype behind her, these days WWE is building women with so many vignettes in 4 to 5 weeks with the evolution thing happening on Raw. I don't, care two hoots about it. But, Frankie Monet was built with a big hype. And now that she's there, with the same gear that she had as Taya Valkyrie. So all of that stuff is happening. I think they want her big wins to be in front of a crowd, which is why I asked you. So then one to take the title off Raquel could most probably be Frankie Monet. And Beth Phoenix was shocked that she used her move as well.
And I think July is the time that they bring back fans. And yeah, it's time and like get rid of this CWC bullshit, man. Like I saw, I think it was in the tag team match. I know it is a great match, but you don't have to tell me through the pipe noise that this is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, NXT, we haven't heard if people are coming or not. But I don't think WWE, a company which has been there for so many years, so many decades, is that stupid to bring crowds to every show except NXT. They'll absolutely bring crowds to every show. And 205 Live, like it takes place after SmackDown. You have the other shows as well. I think crowds are returning fully, but they don't want to hype NXT UK and 205 Live with crowds so much. They're like, okay, it will come, but we're not hyping those because they're random shows. So they have hyped up Raw, SmackDown, and the pay-per-views. And I think NXT is going to have a crowd. We don't have to worry about that. It would be a very weird scenario, and there would be complaints against WWE that you're having crowds for Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-views. Why leave this yellow brand out? So I think there'll be crowds.
Let's see, man. Can't wait, to the return of crowds, full packed crowds in NXT. Like we saw what happened, 2 days ago with AEW and Double or Nothing. We need the same energy here in NXT as well.
Yeah, because I watched a review with Abhishek, and I loved the review. I didn't watch the show, to be honest. Don't hate on me for that because I don't watch AEW so much. So, but I heard a lot. I saw Mark Henry's debuted and all of that stuff. So I heard all the rumors and that the fans made the show. I've heard this a lot of times. I've read the rumors that the fans made the show better than it was. So can't wait for WWE to have the crowds as well because I'm an entire pro WWE guy. WWE is everything for me. So I hope they have the crowds very soon in July, and it's going to be bonkers.
So speaking about crowd, so the next guy is gonna be definitely over with the crowd. I'm talking about LA Knight.
Hey, night.
So he had, a special entrance. He was coming through the, gorilla position and told to the music guy to play my jam. He's cutting typical, LA Knight promo, really good stuff. So he was facing LA Knight, sorry, he was facing Jake Atlas. So Jake Atlas is the same guy who beat who was it? Cameron Grimes a few weeks ago, thanks to, we could say, LA Knight and this whole situation going on with the $1 million man. So they have a little decent match here. We would see $1 million man coming out there. We would see Cameron Grimes coming out there. So at the end, LA Knight was a little distracted. So this allowed, Jake Atlas to, take the, surprise win. And that was it. So Jake Atlas now has beaten both LA Knight and Cameron Grimes. So there you go. They are trying to build him up as well. And speaking about LA Knight and Cameron Grimes, so they have booked them a match between those two at Takeover, and we could see a implication of the rumored return of the $1 million championship inserted in this story. What do you think?
Absolutely. I was, while you were speaking about this entire scenario, while you were stating all the facts, I was thinking about my points to speak on, and you mentioned the $1 million championship. So there have been heavy rumors that that title is going to return. With the $1 million man, it's become more than obvious that the title is going to be back. But, I was talking about how long they can go with this comedic things and all of that. I'm not yet bored. I'm not saying I'm tired of this stuff. NXT, go ahead with all of that. But Jake Atlas beats Cameron Grimes. Jake Atlas beats LA Knight. And then you have the losers have a match at TakeOver. Where is Jake Atlas? He has two major wins. Give him at least the Cruiserweight Championship match. Maybe he gets it at TakeOver in the couple of weeks that we have for the build-up. I think it's just 1 week for the build-up. And then you have all these superstars that are coming up. You have Kushida who could have a match. You have Jake Atlas, who's with the wins, with a bit of momentum. But talking about this match, LA Knight and his opponent Cameron Grimes, if it is for the $1 million championship, boom, you have another championship on NXT. So $1 million man perhaps is getting his heavy paychecks now from WWE for doing all this work. And let's see what happens at TakeOver in your house.
And speaking about the championship, the return of it, only makes sense for this story. I don't know how will you use it in the weeks to come, in the months to come.
True, because $1 million man is playing the role here. So if you bring that title back, we would be like, okay, we don't have even 1% of a problem, because it's obvious it's his title, he's brought it back. But after he's gone from the story, how do you control it? Does LA Knight become the official holder? We even saw Ted DiBiase Jr. use that title for a couple of months or weeks. So does LA Knight become the official protege of Ted DiBiase? Does he hold the title? I can agree with that. LA Knight holds the title. He's the main $1 billion guy of NXT now, with the all the hype around him being a star. So I can see that happening, but I don't think it's a permanent one. It's just that LA Knight wins it or Cameron Grimes wins it, and they keep it as a gift and don't defend it.
And we were before this segment, we were speaking about when are the crowds returning. Cameron Grimes is gonna be super over in this brand.
Yeah, because if you watch Raw, SmackDown, and NXT's crowds from previous years, NXT crowd is too invested in NXT. They love NXT. And when Survivor Series happened, the one time that all three brands collided, NXT was getting heavy pops from the crowd. And that proves that they care for the brand. They love the brand. And when crowds return, there are a couple of people who we can talk about another day that they would get over with the crowd. Roman Reigns is going to be one. Lashley might be one. You can see LA Knight being one. Cameron Grimes, as you said, could absolutely be one. And with all these stars being built, Karrion Kross's title reign, even the first one where he won the title and then lost it due to injury, now winning, he's not been in front of a crowd. How does the crowd react to him as champion? That's also going to matter.
Let's see, man. Let's see. But let's move forward and get to the Cruiserweight Championship match. So so this was an open challenge from Kushida. So this week it was, you could say, accepted by the newcomer. So it was Carmelo Hayes. So he was formerly known as Christian Casanova in the Indies and made quite of a big name. So the hype, they made a great job, trying to hype up this new guy. We had a special video package when the commentator spoke very highly of him. So we had Carmelo. He looked really good in the ring. He could do some great spots here and there. Kushida. So at the end of the day, Kushida retained with the submission hoverboard lock, and that was it. So what was your first impression of this new guy, Carmelo Hayes?
Obviously, they made the hype well with the video package and Wade Barrett telling us about him and all of that stuff. But even after the video package, I thought he might be a random challenger. Like NXT loves to do these video packages. Main example, Kross versus Balor 2. It was an incredible promo package. And now I thought it was a random challenger, but the amount of time that they gave to this match, Kushida versus Carmelo Hayes, they got a good amount of time for that title match, and it proved to be a very good match in my opinion. And given that they had so much time, I don't think it's a random challenger. He's going to be a good NXT superstar. He's going to get the opportunities in the future, and he'll get the push he deserves. He's very talented. Spots, obviously, he does well, but I want to see more stuff from him. Obviously, his first match today. So with the high flying stuff, include some character work, and it'll be a massive entertainment factor in NXT.
And by the way, I want Kushida to go back to his original gear. I think this is not working for him. The prototype Kushida is not working.
For 3 weeks, perhaps.
The prototype Kushida is not working for me.
You want that jeans, and you want that Orange Cassidy half and John Moxley half gear. You want Dean Ambrose and Orange Cassidy to mix it.
Yeah, the jean stuff was decent, but I wouldn't mind going back to the OG. I'm talking about those white shorts. Maybe he looked maybe half a wrestler, half a MMA fighter, something like that. But he is not fully into this MMA fighter, and less of that time splitter.
Yeah, you can't argue with what they want to give him, because they've continued this gear for some time, and let's see what happens, because I don't think they are going to change this gear.
Let's talk about the way we had Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. So they were about to face Zayda Ramir and Zoe Stark. So I think this is a new tag team, you could say. I think it's logical as of now.
Yeah, Zayda Ramir came in, she got a win on her debut, and the next 2 weeks she loses. So typical booking for an NXT superstar. You can't. So I've always said that you can't push everyone. Not everyone can be pushed. Someone, if you don't have someone in the company who can be a jobber, how will you exist? Because if you have everyone as a big star, then when they take a loss, it will matter a lot. So you have to have random superstars as well. But now that NXT has women's championships in the tag team division, you need tag teams. So Zoe Stark, now we get the signal that she isn't going to be a single star and going after the NXT women's championship. Zayda Ramirez too early for her. So basic move, make them into a tag team, and probably they are going to be an official tag team, and sign the contract, as they say, for RK Bro. They haven't done it yet, so they'll sign the contract and become a team.
And by the way, what else did we get in this index love triangle, or love triangle? I'm saying love triangle, love storyline this week.
So Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell were ready for a backstage segment. So the interviewer, I don't remember her name, she was saying, "What an exciting week of NXT! We have all of this stuff." And Candice is like, "You idiot! You're standing with the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, and you're talking about Kross and Cole and all of that stuff. Talk to us." And we see Indy Hartwell being as dumb as she is, using her headphones, as listening to 80s ballet. So she was listening to 80s ballet, and then Candice is like, "How can you listen to this?" She throws the headphone, keeps it on a table, and then they move out for to get ready for their match. And later on the night, we have Dexter Loomis, the one-sided lover, coming out, and maybe one-sided, maybe two-sided. So he comes out and listens to the songs, and he smiles a bit, he giggles, he likes the music, and then we see something for next week, because they're hilarious. The story is going well. I'm not tired of it yet. I'm liking what they're doing. Where is it leading? By God, I hope it isn't leading to a marriage on NXT. And apart from that, do anything, I love it.
And did you hear Beth Phoenix, just marking out because, they were hitting 80s ballet. So hearing a 80s ballet.
Yeah, Beth Phoenix is like a lover of this relationship. She gave them a name, Index. Now she's loving 80s ballet. And Wade Barrett is like, "Can we please talk about the show?" So it was very funny seeing Beth do all of that stuff, but she's there to do that.
Did you hear Wade Barrett made the comparison to Beth Phoenix, saying, "Would you let your daughters, date a creep?"
No, I didn't hear that.
That he did made some kind of reference there on when we had this match.
Okay, so would you let your daughters date a creep? Then Edge would spear them. That's what is going to happen. Absolutely. End of story. You have the rated R superstar.
Let's get to this match, man. We had, like we said, Zayda Ramirez, now that, and Zoe Starks, the newly formed tag team facing the tag champs. So, quick little match here. The Way would get the win, and that's it. I don't know. Other than the love storyline with Dexter, I don't know what else they could do. Especially considering the tag team titles, the women's tag team titles.
Because now you've got the titles, you have no way out. You have to have challenges, you have to have matches. Where are the teams? Dakota and Raquel are nowhere close to the women's tag team championships now. And with Zoe Stark and Zayda Ramirez losing, they also don't have a spot right now. Ember and Shotzi are gone. What is going to happen to those titles? You have Indy Hartwell and Dexter Loomis, chatting about all of that stuff. When you had the Dusty Classic, it's obvious. You have so many tag teams, you got the little bit of motivation, you build the titles. Now what? You need challenges, right? So I don't know what they're doing with the titles. I said they needed the titles because there are so many superstars on NXT, but it's just bad booking. They need more teams, and they've built one today. So let's see what the future holds. But the Way, I don't know what they're going to do. And we saw a short promo between Oni Lorcan and Austin Theory backstage. Speaking about if Adam Cole wasn't there, Pete Dunne would have won, or Kyle O'Reilly, or all those superstars, or Gargano, basically. So I could see an Oni Lorcan and Austin Theory match next week.
Yeah, they could do that. Like, that's typical booking, right? Get two guys, have an argument, book a match. I think they also did the same thing with Hitro and Drake Maverick and Everrise, I guess. Or I think Killian Dane was also there, something like that.
Yeah, Drake Maverick, Killian Dane, Everrise, and Hitro. So please give me top dollar and Killian Dane in a match. It would be crazy. And it could be a 4-on-4 match. Everrise is a heel team or face team. I just don't know. And Hitro is obviously not a heel or face. They're just roaming around on NXT right now. So again, you just have 1 week of build up to take over in your house. I don't see this match going to take over. And again, one of the matches that I was booking for TakeOver, which is Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish versus Dunn and Lorcan, that's obviously cancelled now because both those superstars are gone to the Fatal 5-way. So you still have Bobby Fish, do something with him. And this scenario, this entire 8 people scenario, I think it's just going to be a random 8-man tag and Hitro gets the win.
And there was another story that is going on with Mercedes Martinez. And who's the other one? I'm not getting her name. Who was she talking about?
Tia Shah or someone.
Tia Shah and what? Who's the other? Zaya Lee, yes. Zaya Lee. So this was a little story going on this week's NXT. First off, we had the last week. What happened was after Mercedes Martinez won a match, so she was, you could say, crossed, with on her palm, which relates to Tia Shah and Zaya Lee. So this week we heard a promo from both women. From Mercedes Martinez, she would say that there is actually history that 4 years ago, Mercedes actually beat Zaya Lee in the Mae Young Classic. So that's the one point I like. Storytelling, long-term storytelling, you could say.
Absolutely. Because the entire scenario with these women, they now have a takeover match, Zaya Lee and Mercedes Martinez. So all of that stuff can culminate in a good story. I always like long-term booking. You might have seen the pictures of Aleister Black's right eye being dotted and all of that stuff on SmackDown when he came back. That is really long-term booking. We didn't remember it, and still they gave it to us. The Seth Rollins eye story and now coming back. That's long-term booking, but not talking about the main roster right now. So on NXT, that's a good story. Even if you're building a random takeover match, if that has a short story like this, that 4 years back I beat you in a major tournament match and all of that stuff, I like that fact. Not just putting random people together like Ember and Raquel were, but these two have a story and the match will be good because Mercedes is a veteran and Zaya Lee obviously has to build a character.
And so we would also hear from Zaya Lee, she's furious that she was beaten, 4 years ago, and blah, blah, blah. Typical, you could say the Zaya Lee and Tia Shah promo or vignette, you could say, that has been airing for months. I will talk about this match, but what do you think about this dynamic of Zaya Lee, Tia Shah, and also Boa? Because first when they aired those video packages, it seemed a little cool, but when you see Tia Shah and basically this is a supernatural type of deal going on in NXT. For at least, if you could say, for the NXT brand, this gimmick is really not working or doesn't fit. But what you think about this dynamic?
You are right. It doesn't work because in such a character, it requires attention, and NXT doesn't get the major amount of viewers that Raw and SmackDown gets. So when you have a minimum of 1.5 or 1.6 million people watching your show live on just the USA network, the other networks are not even counted. So on the USA network, people watching live, they'll obviously notice the character. But on NXT, the problem is you don't have everyone every week. I talked about this a couple of weeks back in a review. LA Knight beats someone, he has momentum, the next week he's not there. Bronson Reed, I was waiting for him the entire show and he comes in the end for 2 minutes. So that way, there are so many superstars on NXT, the roster is so large, you can't fit in everyone. So a demonic character on NXT is different, obviously, it's good because you on one hand have Karrion Kross, who's sort of heel, sort of a villain, but he's not a demon. He's still human. So you have that demonic character with Tia Shah and Zaya Lee and all those people, and it isn't working yet. But I don't think NXT quits on booking so early. They'll try their best. Mercedes maybe getting the loss here, maybe another challenger for Raquel. Because I told you in the women's division there are so many people on NXT. You don't know how to book them. So this demonic character I don't think is working on NXT, but put her in the title picture, it might.
And will we ever see Tiasha Russell?
I don't know, man. She has that stupid hair on her face and all that stuff. She doesn't even speak. I don't know what's going to happen. And when Xia Li faces Mercedes Martinez, does she show her face? Perhaps.
Did you know she was 2000 years old?
Oh wow, she's 2000 years old.
Yeah.
Then probably she doesn't know how to speak, because at that time people didn't speak. So maybe she's not speaking for that reason.
Good luck getting this over with an NXT crowd.
Yeah.
But let's move on, man. Let's get to the main event then. Have we left out something?
No, I don't think so.
So let's get to the NXT Tag Team Championship match. MSK versus Legado del Fantasma. This was another, really good match. All four are really great, talented wrestlers. And we had, I was saying Raquel Gonzalez, who's the guy? Raul Mendoza. He was actually, having a face guard or nose guard, you could say, because, he was injured or I think last week, in that Ciampa Thatcher match. So we would see, speaking about Ciampa, so those we had grizzled young veterans showing up. We had Ciampa and Thatcher showing up, and the match was really fun, really great. We also saw involvement of Santos Escobar. So when this happened, here comes Bronson Reed. He crushes Escobar in a corner, and MSK would retain the titles. Really fun match. What do you think about it?
Yeah, good match, fast paced, and I'm not a fan of this type of wrestling, but I love it because it's quick. You don't have the time to blink your eye because it's so fast. And MSK and Legado del Fantasma are very good teams. And perhaps we haven't seen the end of the short rivalry yet, because now Escobar is being attacked by Bronson Reed again. What would be the obvious booking? You have Thatcher and Ciampa and GYV, who came out and fought and went back themselves. It didn't even take, I think, 30 seconds for them. They came out, fought, and went back. So I see 3 matches from here being booked for TakeOver. Maybe 2 of them to be obvious. Bronson Reed versus Escobar for the NXT North American Championship. MSK versus Legado del Fantasma for the Tag Team Championships. These 2, I think, are obvious. And GYV versus Thatcher and Ciampa, maybe. Because now they've already put 3 to 4 matches on the card. You don't want to do another 2-night takeover. So let's see what happens. But talking about the match, I was happy with it. And Bronson Reed, I want to see more of him. He's just won the title, man. Come on. It's only been 2 weeks maybe that he's won the title. And he's on the show for 2 minutes, and that too at the end. Give him some more time on the show. So the only thing I was disappointed in this match was Bronson Reed having so less time on the entire show. But the match itself was really good. MSK retained.
So I'm gonna ask you again. So what do we get regarding the tag team situation for TakeOver?
Yeah. So regarding the men's division.
Yep.
Okay. So there might be a scenario that they put all the 4 teams together into a fatal 4-way, but you already have a fatal 5-way. Let that multi-man match have more hype. So as I said, I will, if I was the person booking all these matches, wow, I wish I was. So, GYV versus Ciampa and Thatcher would be one of the matches, and Legado del Fantasma versus MSK, because they have good chemistry. Why end it randomly? Why have these one match rivalries and end it? Let them have another rematch. So I would book these 2 matches for the tag team division.
I don't know. This could be a last moment decision for NXT now.
Yeah, because they only have 1 week of build up, I think. So they need to do something quick. Obviously, a 2-hour show is there next week, so they can build. It's only 2 matches. They can build it really nicely. Or else you just call out one of the teams, like Ember Moon came out during the commercial. Let them shout and challenge a team. boom, you have a match for takeover. So something like that can also happen. But these two matches, if it makes to the card, then I'll be happy because GYV, I want to see them win their titles. They're my favorite tag team right now in NXT. So I hope they win the titles very, very soon.
And now that I think of it, they could have saved, the match you seen right now. They could have saved it for takeover instead.
Yeah, absolutely. But NXT is booking, even and I know that they are attracting viewers through title matches, which is a smart move. I don't doubt it. I don't find it, weird. It's good that you have title matches every single week. I think it's been for 5 to 6 weeks that they are having title matches every week. So I don't see it as a problem. But next week, I haven't heard of a title match yet. Because obviously, next week, I don't think there'll be a title match. You have Takeover the following week. So now, after 5 to 6 weeks, probably it's going to be the first week without a title match from NXT. But Kushida is there. You can fit in Kushida with a open challenge and have that on the list that, okay, we did a title match on NXT. You can have that. So let's see what happens. They have only 1 week, as you were rightfully saying a couple of weeks back, that the in your house build should begin quickly because they don't have a lot of time, and you were very right. Now you see it quickly happening. All these matches are randomly being added. So 1 week, it's a 2 hour show. You have around 90 minutes or more than that to book the show. The rest are commercials. So book it nicely. Give the already booked matches a bit of hype, maybe promo packages, maybe in-ring segments, and do well for NXT Takeover in your house because it's repeating after a year. That's a good factor that they had it last year. They're having it again. So let's see what happens. I'm excited.
And speaking about the North American Championship, I didn't like how Santos Escobar was quickly thrusted in. Like he just lost the Cruiserweight Championship. You could have, cooled him. Cool. I'm not saying cool him, but have him some random matches and have some promos, and then you could, consider him putting him in a North American title match. So this seems a little quick, you could say.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming again to your point that they needed to start the build early because you didn't have the time for Santos Escobar to lose and then have all the random matches. He wants Legado del Fantasma, all three people to have championships. That's his basic aim. That's his only aim, perhaps. So he now goes to the North American Championship. I don't think it's a bad way to book him. That kind of elevates him. That puts in our mind that, okay, he's not going to these random matches. He's not going to beat jobbers. He will stay in the title picture. Take him seriously as a top star. So I don't have a problem in that. And he's supremely talented. So Bronson Reed having a new challenger and first challenger as Santos Escobar, I don't have a problem with that.
Let's see, man. So we have the takeover card slowly. I mean, the card is set. You could be getting the rest of the matches for next week's NXT. The card so far for takeover, it's kind of there, because most of these matches
I won't
have came
disagree.
like how.
Yeah, it's been dull because it's a pay-per-view for NXT basically. And now with all these shows happening, where are you building it to? If I was again talking about if I was booking these shows, I would book it in such a way that the people are slowly getting excited for the crowds to return. Because when the crowds will return, the first 2 weeks or 3 weeks, people will obviously come because they've missed so much of wrestling. They want that fan experience, that love of wrestling to come back into them. They'll obviously come. But after that, what? Because we've seen viewerships go down even in crowds. We've seen less people come to shows. That one side is not even shown because the camera is towards that. So we have less people coming. You need good story. I would want to build it slowly so that people get excited. And takeover card, I'm not so excited. NXT Championship, obviously I'm excited. Five of the top stars of NXT. That intrigue of who is going to win the NXT Championship or is Kross retaining. But other than that, Raquel, Ember Moon, I'm not excited. Badly booked. Mercedes Martinez and Zaya Lee, okay match, has story, but not that exciting. Then you have Cameron Grimes and LA Knight. Okay, I'll watch that. I'll pay my money to watch that. But other than that, what are the matches? So you next week's show, I think it's going to be really important, and we'll talk about it also next week in our review for NXT. So next week is going to be a really important show, I feel, They need to build takeover pretty hard because it's not exciting till now.
And you mentioned Mercedes and Xia. I feel like that should have been done on a random NXT than do it on a takeover.
Absolutely, it doesn't have the hype. It's a pay-per-view. You have a title match which was so good, MSK and Legado del Fantasma on a weekly show, and you have a random singles match on a pay-per-view. So, if they do have an NXT takeover in your house kickoff show, if they do have, I think that match will obviously be shifted there. Because right now, talking about the main event, I mentioned three matches: that North American title match, tag title match, and GYV versus Champion Thatcher. Three matches. We already have four matches on the card. Seven matches. So seven. NXT doesn't have so many, matches on a card generally. So they'll obviously shift Mercedes and Xia to a kickoff show, but who knows what's going to happen because the other three matches that I named are not yet confirmed. So it might be that not all of them are confirmed yet. Let's see.
By the way, the announcement of takeover in your house was a last minute decision to it. Came out of nowhere.
Yeah, we didn't hear rumors. We didn't hear anything. We were like, okay, it's going to be NXT after an NXT week after week. Where is the next big show? So, after Stand and Deliver, I was excited because Stand and Deliver was epic. It was phenomenal. And after that, I was excited to see what's going to happen with NXT and randomly comes in your house. Okay, it's nice that it happened around the same time last year, but last year there was hype. I still remember the matches. Damien Priest, Finn Balor. You had that amazing triple threat between Ripley, Io Shirai, and Charlotte. All those matches, they were exciting. You had Keith Lee and Johnny Gargano and all those people. It was a great show. But now the hype has become really bad. The excitement has gone down, and let's see what happens because, as I said, next week is going to be a very important week for Triple H and NXT.
Let's see, man, how NXT does things. But yeah, that was the review for this week. And before we leave, where can these guys find you?
Okay, so you guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Ghar Baithe BC. I do a talk show by the name Ghar Baithe BC. I do vlogs, special editions. We are close to hitting 150 subscribers on YouTube, so subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Slamhub Wrestling as well. He's close to 350. He's only 5 subscribers away. Do that as well. So see you guys next week for another review.
And you can find Slamhub Wrestling on Twitter at SlamHubW, Instagram at Slamhub Wrestling. You can catch this review on Anchor and Spotify as well. And we'll see you guys next time.